much.
Well, hello and welcome to the weekly Mix and Mash, brought to you by the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. I'm your host, Harvey. With me, as usual, my two good pals, Michael and Paul. How are you staying today, boys?
Bitterly disappointed, my friend. Bitterly disappointed.
Aye, no names, I know.
What's my name?
We're keeping it serious this week, so...
Oh.
Keeping the real names, just real names. None of your kiddie own names this week.
Aye. I couldn't... If I'm telling the truth, I couldn't find any good ones, so... I'll have to do a bit more scouring to get proper ones.
Dry.
It is a bit...
Might need a new stick.
Maybe. I'll just start making up names myself. Just open the dictionary and just flick through and stop.
I mean, you could literally just pick a random thing every week and just come up with names based on it. Like this week could be biscuits. Harvey the Jammy Dodger Smith. Paul the Bitter Shortbread Care.
Oh.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I do like Jammy Dodgers though.
Porn star names. Porn star names.
Oh,
I'll be Dick Humongous.
Oh, brilliant. So this week
It'll be William Guff.
Oh god, all right.
The weekly Mix and Mash with Dick Humongous and William Guff.
Well, we stayed serious for a whole 30 seconds. So
30 seconds, aye. 30 seconds. So much for us being a serious podcast this week. Oh god.
We should have just started with cheerleader names or something. We would have been a lot more serious. Oh, Christ. Anywho.
God. Aye. So without further ado, let's mix it up. So this week we're going to start with Paul's Quack of the Week.
Pretty easy one here, seems to be UEFA would qualify for this week.
Definitely.
Management of these major finals seems to have left a bit to be desired. I was originally alerted to this with the Open Goal podcast. I keep saying Emma here. The Open Goal podcast, it was Derek Ferguson talking about a lack of water within Seville for fans. I also heard there was an issue with the Rangers fans' tifo. They promised them all the way up until just about kick-off that the wee flags that they had were fine. Then at the very last minute, you're not getting your flags. It's bamboo canes and your flags. They can be a weapon, despite the fact that all the way up to almost kick-off, these flags were fine. So it just seems like one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing as far as kind of organisational kind of responsibility goes with UEFA. I mean, obviously the water one being the biggest issue really in a roasted warm country like Spain, where you've got these guys drinking all day, Germans and Scottish obviously, drinking all day, having a good time, no causing much bother, and then they're basically dehydrated for hours and hours watching a football game. I mean, you're risking folks' lives there, as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, that was followed up last night. I mean, I was out last night when the final was on, so Harvey, you will know much more, but there was some amount of carry on last night at the Champions League game.
There is a lot of bother there. So going back, before I start talking about that, I'll just jump back to the Seville.
So talk us through the Seville one.
Seville, it was just another strange one. I don't know why the bamboo stuff, all right. But then the Germans had that big tifo.
That massive big tifo, like the big huge flag and all that. And they had loads of flags. So
I mean, they made it something different. I don't know.
I mean, what was a rolled up newspaper that was holding up the flags? I mean,
honestly, man, I don't like anything.
That's when you heard that it wasn't okay for Rangers, but it was fine for the Germans to put on something like that.
It was so weird, so strange. I just don't get it. Then the water. There was both sets of fans. Obviously, in the concession stands, they ran out of water. I remember seeing something, but they said that they only expected a certain amount of fans. They were told that only a certain amount of fans were going to attend. However, UEFA sold more tickets than what they were told were going to be in the stadium. So they got water for enough for those fans, for that amount of fans. Let's just say 40,000, right? So they had 40,000 times 3. That's so one of the managers was saying we stock like 3 times the amount that we think we need, just to be sure. But obviously, with more fans there, it was sweltering. They were all wanting water. They sold out very quick. One of the managers of the concession stands was saying that he was trying to tell the fans that he had sent somebody to go and buy water, like cases of water, and they were coming back, but the fans, they didn't want to hear that. They started attacking some of the workers there. They had to close the concession stand, so nobody in the end was getting water. They went into the bathrooms and they were drinking out the taps, but the problem with that was that all the taps in the stadium were running because everybody wanted water. So the pumps couldn't handle it and the whole water system shut down. So it was just a nightmare.
I mean, that for me, fair enough, fans are unruly there in certain instances, but for me, that's the finger still is to really be pointed at the organisation.
This is what I'm saying. Like, so they were told, for instance, we're only going to have 40,000 fans. So they buy 40,000 bottles of water times 3, so they should have enough. That's what they said. But in the end, there was like 60,000. So that cuts it a bit. Like, it's just, why are they telling you, these people, that you're only going to have this amount of fans and you're bringing more? Like, they need to prepare for the same amount of fans. You know what I mean? It's just UEFA. I don't know, man. They're just dropping the ball.
I know when I first heard about it for Derek Ferguson on that Open Goal show, he suggested that it was a sinister bit of conspiracy. He reckoned that UEFA were at it. They were in the local police were at it potentially, and they wanted dehydrated fans on both sides so that there was less chance of a kick-off of violence. That's what he suggested. Like, I mean, it's heavy tinfoil hat, but then
It's not bad.
in today's world, I'm surprised at fucking nothing, lads. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, to be honest, it makes sense. When you say it does make sense. That theory makes sense. Sorry, I don't know if it's true.
It doesn't seem that out of the realms of possibility. Does it?
When you're thinking that the Polish,
sadly,
they're like, if you have these fans, they're dehydrated, no bother. It's like, yeah. I mean, anyway. I was going to go and talk about something, CIA and that, but we'll not get down that road. Anyway, so then we come to last night, and it was just terrible. Like, there was delays because fans couldn't get in the stadium. They were queuing for hours to get in. Like, everything about it was just wrong. So there was fans climbing fences to get in. So actually, there was ticketless fans climbing over the fences to get in. Which kind of annoys me, because if you get in and you're at a seat that somebody's paid a ticket for, that person can't get in. They paid good money. I mean, there's folk that paid like £700, £1,000 to get into that game, couldn't get in. There was fake tickets going around as well. That's another one. There was real tickets that people were producing real tickets and getting told they were fake. So Andy Robertson, he got 2 tickets. I think it was 2 tickets for his friends or nephew or something, family member or close friend. They were real tickets because he got them from the club.
He's personally got himself
and gave them the tickets. And when they got there, they said they're fake tickets. And Andy Robertson said, I can assure you they're not fake tickets. I got them from the club itself. You know, so he was livid. I mean, obviously he was livid. He lost the final, but he was livid with that as well.
Wow.
It is tear gas. They were tear gassing fans because fans were trying to push to get in. So obviously you had children in there who were getting the CS gas, like the tear gas. man.
Was there
You know,
bother
was-
with local French guys as well, trying to cause bother?
So there was actually some locals were trying to get into the stadium as well, just jumping the fence too.
I mean, what the hell is going on there?
They just wanted to watch the football, I guess.
The security,
just
the
wanna watch the
stewards
world
and
burn,
whatnot were doing very little to stop it.
Oh,
I mean,
I've
there's
seen
there's gonna be a
videos.
demand, but aye.
I've seen the videos, and there wasn't a lot of security there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being honest, like, for a big game like that, there should be more security than
Yeah.
what was there. So then, when the French police get there, and they're very strong armed, I'll say. They look to swiftly put down any uprising. Say,
This is what I don't understand, though. Is it was the Stade de France, which is used to holding massive games, the French national stadium for rugby and football.
Mm-hmm.
A monstrously big stadium with a whole infrastructure built round about it to support it being such a big stadium.
They just had the Euros there, eh?
Ah, exactly, mate. The Euros was fairly recent as well.
Exactly. They know how it goes. It's so strange. I just don't understand it. And the fake tickets thing, like people with real tickets, how can you as an official who's looking at these tickets not know the difference between the fake and a real one?
I mean, that's the other thing I don't get. So what, is somebody getting up to a turnstile with a real ticket and they're just looking at it and going, nah, fake?
Aye.
What the fuck is going on there?
They're like that's fake. And they were like,
wild.
Right, give me the ticket back and I'll go and, like, you know, and they're like, nah, not getting the ticket back. Like, what?
I mean, what the fuck?
Like, I just don't get it. Like, it was just a shit show.
I do not understand how it's went so bad.
And there was some logistical cock up as well, like to get the Liverpool fans to the stadium. Like, and then
they seem to be waiting like 5 hours.
And then that's why they
places.
And then like imagine coming. It's like, nah, man.
I mean, again, it's France. This isn't the bloody middle of nowhere. It's Paris.
This is the national stadium that's used to having crowds. I just don't understand how it went so tits up.
It really is. UEFA have a hell of a load to answer for.
Oh, definitely.
Certain fans have a load to answer for and try to jump fucking fences to get in the stadiums.
Aye, and by the way, that was fans of both sets of teams plus locals as well. So it's across the board. It's not just one set. So
obviously, like I say, I didn't watch the game last night. I was away seeing my band. So Father Son, by the way, if anybody's no listened to Father Son, do yourself a favour. Fantastic Scottish band. But that aside, we were in a pub before the gig, and I remember looking at the stadium on the telly, and it was fucking empty. And this was the kickoff time. Like,
aye, that's why the kickoff time got delayed.
And obviously, that's where we were seated. Like, it was the Mrs. Powell and her man, and both me and him are like, what the fuck's going on? Scrambling to get our phones out.
Aye,
to try catch up with things. Like, I couldn't believe our bloody eyes.
So when I first seen it was delayed, the kickoff was delayed. The report came out saying kickoff's been delayed for security reasons, and I was like, oh my god, what's happened now? Like, you know, what kind of, like, you know, security usually means something bad, like fans are fighting, somebody's attacked somebody, you know. I mean, terrorist attack. And I was just like, oh fuck, I hope not. I mean, they've tried it there before at the Stade de France. You know,
I mean, Jesus, I remember that happened before with terrorists carry on in Paris. Like, it's, They
were in the middle of a game and then they boom on it. It's like, so
that's right.
that went through my head and I was just like, oh my god, I hope something like that hasn't happened again. And then you find out it's fucking UEFA.
Aye.
Can he organise a game of football?
By the way,
getting the fans in?
I mean, above all else, what I really feel for is television viewers in BT Sport who had to listen to Mike Lone's shite patter for more than 20 minutes. I mean, that is a punishment worse than death right there.
Michael Lone, man. He does have some shit patter.
Oh, his patter's honking, man.
We spoke about that before, I believe.
We have,
we did
God.
a wee highlight reel.
We've dug him out a couple of times, mate. Aye.
If that gets in, it's a goal. Oh, really, Michael? I did not know that.
a fucking striker of international quality. If that goes in, that's a goal. Aye, very good, Michael. Very good.
Brilliant.
Aye, but that, I mean, that's a punishment enough right there, man. The fans have suffered enough.
So, aye. Moving on to the game. We'll talk about the game itself. Actually, before I say that, you know what I forgot to mention last week? I'm sorry for any of you out there who are Burnley fans, but get it up them for sacking Sean Dyche. They get relegated. Fucking
Yeah, right point.
yeah.
So
You know what I mean? If they kept that man, he would have kept them in the Premier League. Now they're back in the Championship. So, on to the game. Last night, Champions League final. Real Madrid taking on Liverpool. Michael, I believe you watched it.
Champs? Aye, Champions League final. Yep.
Yep. How did you find the game?
First half, very interesting. It seemed like Real Madrid were going with their game plan that they've been using a lot lately, which is basically take the first half off and then just whatever happens there, fight back in the second half. Liverpool didn't quite seem their best. They seem to find the Real Madrid defence quite hard to deal with, but like they were definitely the team that looked like they were in control of the game. But I was getting annoyed with Liverpool actually because they were doing great in midfield and they were doing great again down the wing, but anytime they even thought about heading into the box, it just wasn't there for them. It was as if there was nobody in the middle of the park.
Aye. And Mo Salah had a header, didn't he? Just went straight into Courtois' hands, though.
Aye.
If I'm being honest, if I'm betting on somebody scoring a header, it's no Mo Salah.
Salah and the other fella who I don't remember off the top of my head, black fella, I can't remember his name.
Mane. Sadio Mane.
Sadio Mane.
The two of them had a few shots in target, but nothing that looked like it was really troubling the keeper. To that, what's the Real Madrid keeper's name, by the way? He had a hell of a game.
Courtois. Aye, Thibaut Courtois.
What a game he had.
Oh, aye. Man of the match right there, my friend.
100%, man.
Aye.
I saw that he had some like 8 or 9 saves apparently during the full game.
Ridiculous.
Was it only 8 or 9?
It certainly had more than that, but probably 8 or 9 that were
Really,
like,
aye.
like big time
big saves, aye.
He had a few where it was like sort of two motion things, you know what I mean? Like he dives and saves the original shot,
Double save.
but then he's double save, right? Is that how he says it? So, but he's having to get back to his feet and either dive again or sprint for the ball. Or, that man is why Real Madrid won that.
Oh, aye.
Liverpool would have been 3 or 4 up after the first half without that fella.
I mean, Mane's like one of the shots from Mane where Courtois just gets a hand to it. It's low to his right, and he gets his hand to it, and he pushes it onto the post, and then it comes back off them, and then it comes off the post, and then comes off the back of Courtois. But luckily, it didn't go in the back. But luckily for him, it didn't get in the back of the net. He managed to smother it up. But what a save it was! He made.
It's amazing he can get down low as well as that for being a giant
tall.
lad. He is. 6'7", 6'8". He's a big boy.
He made a couple of great saves from Mo Salah as well. Like, he definitely kept Real Madrid in the game. I think Liverpool had 24 shots in that game.
Jesus.
9 on target. Real Madrid had 4 shots, 2 on target, and one of them was a goal.
See, the magic is though, history is. See, when you look back, Real Madrid won.
Aye.
And this team will be remembered for continuing to win even past their prime.
So that's what I mean. A couple of weeks ago, you guys were saying Liverpool, and I was kind of like on the fence. Like one team could, and one, you know what I mean. It could very closely contested.
Aye.
Because as I was saying, like Real Madrid has some of those players that Real Madrid have been through this so many times. They've been to these finals. They have that composure. They just know how it goes, and it just showed last night. Like the first half, they just strolling about. Then second half, they came alive a little bit, creating more chances. Vinicius.
He's a good player,
scores.
that boy. Aye.
But it was, oh God, who crossed the ball? Well, I don't think it was a cross. I think it was a shot. Valverde. I think Valverde shot and it just ended up looking like a cross. And Vinicius was there to tap. And see, if you look at it, go back, look at the goal, and honestly, it looks like he shoots. The way he shapes up, it looks
I mean,
like
I can
a shot
see
to me.
that because it does. It's got a hell of a curve on it.
Mm-hmm. So you just when he hits, it just goes.
If he's
he
intended
scuffs it.
if he's intended it to go where it did, then it is the cross of the century.
Oh, aye, it's amazing. If he meant it, aye. But so Real Madrid's midfield with Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro. Anytime they had the ball, like Liverpool just couldn't get it off him.
That is an experienced triangle of midfield.
Those three right there in midfield, just passing the ball a bit for fun. Modric has some range of passing. Oh my God.
Oh, he's a baller. He's the man.
Aye. I mean, that's why he won the Ballon d'Or 2 years ago.
Aye.
He's some player. To me, he just seems to be getting better with age. If I'm being honest.
He is literally ageless. Like he's 35 or 36 now, and he doesn't need to be able to run. He walks about smoking a cigar in the park, man. He is the man. And then, by the way, just to put in the context, remember this is the season in which Real Madrid get beat at home during the group stages against the Moldovan champions.
Aye.
So they lost at home to Sheriff Tiraspol, and everybody went, "Oh, they're shite. That's the end of them." And now they're the European champions, and nobody will ever remember that. They beat 2-1 at home.
I think it's crazy, isn't it?
Fucking wild.
It's wild.
For there to Carlo Ancelotti, and by the way, there'll be more Ancelotti smoking cigar memes. Just you wait, man. That guy is going to be smoking cigars everywhere.
Hey, do you know what?
During training.
Do you know what I forgot to mention just when you say that, a couple of weeks ago? So Real Madrid was playing Atletico Madrid. This was after they won the league, right?
That's right.
They got beat 1-0. They were doing 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. Oh my God. If you look at some of the videos and stuff on social media, most of the top players are on the bench and they don't care that they're getting beat 1-0. Like they're just sitting there laughing and joking and and I'm like, guys, that's your rival, you're losing. And they're like, fuck it, we won the league anyway. Who cares?
I liked the Atletico part because they'd refused to give them a guard of honour onto the pitch. You see that? Where they'd say the full of Spain's been giving this team a guard of honour for the whole of history. They're not getting a guard of honour for us.
Good fighting.
They're rock stars, man. Atletico, as we know. They're scared for nobody.
Anyway. Back to last night's game. Yes, sorry. Do you know what? I was kicking myself because there was something I wanted to mention. I completely forgot to say about it when we were talking about the final and the lead up to it. And I thought that if Real Madrid was going to get some joy, it would be down the left, where obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold is the right back, and you had Vinicius, because Trent goes up the park a lot, and getting back, Vinicius would have been hard, but he actually did all right until the goal came. Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't even know that Vinicius was behind him. He didn't see him.
That's always Trent's issue, isn't it? Is his defensive awareness.
He just didn't look. You can see it when he turns and he's like, oh, and boom, he goes in. He's just like, oh God. If he was more aware, then that goal maybe never went in. But Real Madrid just did Real Madrid things. Just soak up the pressure, and they take their one chance that they need to win.
They're the unkillable zombie, man. Just nobody's landed a headshot.
They're just like, okay, thank you. I was watching something, and it was a guy talking about the game, and I'm sorry, my friend, I can't remember the name of your podcast, but it was just a podcast I just found, and he was saying, there was a group of them, and he was saying, if it goes into halftime at 0-0, Real Madrid will win. And thinking about it, I was like, oh, it actually makes sense. And he said in the second half, that's where they do their best work. And I was like, aye, right.
Aye,
If
that
Liverpool-
is true. I would agree with that. No, I mean, I'm not the biggest football fan amongst us, let alone amongst the world, but I do like Liverpool, and I've seen Real Madrid play enough times to ken that they are very strong in the second half, especially like the further on the game goes, the higher their resolve goes. And Liverpool tend to start pretty strong and sometimes have a tendency to dwindle a bit, but if they're coming from behind, they can chase. They've shown that in the past, but I think they need time to build up. So, like, if the goal goes in the first half, then you give Liverpool a chance to come back, like a shot of coming back in the second half. But the way it kind of played out, take a step back for it, no surprised.
Yep. Did you know that this season Liverpool has been in 3 finals?
That's right.
Guess how many goals they've scored in those finals?
2?
None.
0.
Aye, none.
Because
Penalty shootouts, mate.
Aye, fair enough.
Penalty shootout wins
mental,
against Chelsea twice. Aye. Wasn't it?
Mental.
That's pretty bananas, actually.
So I've seen some.
In a season where Salah tied for the Golden Boot, did you know?
I mean, their team in general, Mick, is just goals or whatever. Like, as far as attacking talent, like, it's...
Yeah, that's wild.
Mane might be leaving as well, by the way.
I saw that. Aye, he's in the final year of his contract.
Aye, he might leave it in the summer, which is
Bayern Munich.
aye crazy to think. Bayern Munich have been long time admirers of him. Like that would be, man.
I mean, if you're Liverpool, you've got Luis Diaz in now, and you also have the Diogo Jota, so you have enough there to buffer the hit. And Mane's only getting older. Like he's 29 now, so he's top level for another 4 years potentially.
I mean, if to be honest, looking at it from a business perspective, if Bayern Munich come in and say here's 50 million for Mane, it's like right, he's in the last year of his contract. Do we say no and then he can leave for free, or do we take that money that we can reinvest in a younger player? I mean, we already have a couple of younger players, but so it would make sense if they come in with a good offer. Bye. Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't accept the offer. Yeah. But you have, I mean, I wonder where Paulo Dybala's going to go.
Apparently, Roma are front runners.
Actually, I did see that.
Roma.
I did see that actually.
They are apparent front runners for Dybala.
Aye. Wait,
because of course he'll be their main man there along with Tammy Abraham.
Aye. Oh, congratulations to Roma as well.
I know. First ever Conference League winners.
First ever Conference League winners.
Do you know, I didn't even realise that final had taken place.
Aye.
It was Wednesday there, so it was Europa League last Wednesday. The Wednesday just there was the Conference League final.
I completely blanked on that one.
Aye.
It wasn't much a game to watch, by the way.
Right.
If it wasn't a final, you'd have put it off after 5 minutes. It was.
It was.
That is a team in Jose Mourinho's image, certainly. That's shitey football with just enough talent up top to get you the result.
Get you the result.
Aye.
I've seen somebody throwing some shade on Instagram. This came from Odds Bible.
Oh, right.
So somebody put up, they tweeted that Real Madrid beat the champions of France, the champions of Europe, the champions of England, and the Carabao Cup winners.
Getting dug into Liverpool. That's good part of it.
It made me chuckle.
That's decent, man, I've got to say.
Oh, gosh.
It's mad to think with all that money that's spent in the English game and all these young, highly rated players, but yet an ageing Real Madrid team still prevails, like still has the mental fortitude to come through at the end of the day. Even still.
So, if you look at this Real Madrid team, if you look at the bench, just look at the bench in itself. Like, imagine having this bench. Like, you have Nacho, Eden Hazard, Asensio, Marcelo, Lunin, Vasquez, Bale, Ceballos, Rodrigo, Isco, Diaz, and Camavinga. Like,
I found their bench to be absolutely mad. Some of the players on their bench,
aye.
like Gareth Bale and Eden Hazard, it's like almost £200 million a player once upon a time on their bench.
Isco as well. He back in the day, he was tailed up. Marcelo, arguably one of the best left backs of the century. Like, crazy.
Isco's another one that's a free transfer, by the way, this summer.
Aye, he'll be gone. It's crazy, right? You know what I find funny? Last year, Carlo Ancelotti was managing Everton. This year, he's a Champions League winner for Real Madrid again. Oh, it's crazy.
Because I remember me saying last year, I just don't rate him at Everton. He's been shite. We've been rubbish.
Oh, man.
I would happily see him go.
That beggars the question, how much of what has transpired is done to him?
At Everton?
No,
or at Real Madrid?
Oh, Real Madrid.
Like, how much an influence does he actually got there? What's he bringing to the table?
I think what he is a good motivator of star players. He's a good sports psychologist when it comes to dealing with the very, very best.
Top, right.
Aye. What he is good at motivating people who come with monster egos and multiple monster egos in a dressing room. He's good at managing all that. He was a top player himself back in the day. Like, he was an international player himself. So he's used to being around other big players like his whole career. And for all his managerial career, basically, like, he's been at top teams aside from obviously Everton, where he'd one crack at mediocrity for a season and went, nope, not for me. and away he went, took his son and everything. Just went, nope. Played a blinder, to be fair.
Team's shite.
Aye,
no winning.
City's fucking raging at me because of my pie.
The owners are shite.
The owners have just bought anybody and everybody. Yeah, absolute disaster. I mean, looking back at it, it's a masterstroke. They go to Everton to 10th.
Aye.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy. Here's something that I seen last week or so. So I don't even know how. Tsarko Selo. It's a Bulgarian team. And I
think I know where you're going with this.
So they were threatened with relegation. They were in the game and they needed to score to stop them from getting relegated. They won a penalty in the last minute. The owner of the club seen that a certain player was taking it, ran onto the pitch to stop that player taking the penalty, to make another player take the penalty. And that player missed the penalty and got them relegated. The owner should never have been allowed onto that bloody pitch. How is he being allowed onto that pitch?
Let it soak into Mick. It's no soaked in Mick yet. Wait there.
I must have misheard you.
Mick didn't hear that quietly.
Right. The club needed a goal to save them from relegation. Okay. They got the penalty in the last minute of the game.
Yep.
The owner of the club seen a certain player going to take the penalty. So said owner proceeds onto the park to tell the players he's not taking the penalty. He's taking the penalty. The player that he chose to take the penalty missed the penalty, and now the club's relegated.
I did miss you, but it's still wild. But I did miss
plot twist. The very next day, the owner folded the club who were relegated. Quote, he said, investing money in Bulgarian football is the easiest way to lose it. So did he change penalty taker in order to get rid of the football team? Because he had just had it.
That's an interesting conspiracy.
There's a conspiracy
If the
again.
class would like to put their tinfoil hats back on.
Let's go through this step by step. Oh, man.
So,
Wild. Football's wild, man, honestly.
aye, especially in Bulgaria, man. Aye.
Did you know that Kylian Mbappe lost 700,000 followers on Instagram the day that he said that he was signing for PSG?
Ah, that with the Spanish contingent then.
I'm not surprised at that. Football fans are fickle.
Aye.
Nothing new there.
It's like, all right.
Benzema wasn't impressed as well, by the way. Did you see he put something up on his Instagram when that happened? When Mbappe signed the contract?
Yes, because obviously being friends, teammates,
Yes.
Mbappe, well, so the story goes that Mbappe had assured Benzema that he was joining Real Madrid. And when he signed for PSG, Benzema took that to heart. He basically said it was a betrayal.
Aye, put up a picture of Tupac and the guy that betrayed him. That's what he posted.
Aye.
Just that image.
Yep.
Interesting.
So,
I just remembered something, right? Slight sidebar taking us back to the Champions League final. But I remembered that I meant to ask you about something and I forgot about it. This could be utter nonsense, right? And I could be bringing this up for no good reason. But I saw that somebody had brought it up that apparently, could be bullshit, but apparently the referee in that game was a cousin in some fashion of Benzema.
that
Referee was.
would be
That-
hilarious.
Aye. UEFA's no done very well, so it's kind of believable.
Definitely believable. However,
I mean, I was thinking back, right? I don't think the referee made any decisions that
Aye.
changed the game.
no, there was no decisions that changed the outcome of the game.
But
Apart from the
that's-
first goal that was ruled offside, and that was Real Madrid's goal anyway.
Aye.
In fact, that was Benzema
Aye.
that scored it.
Maybe that was him. Maybe that was him covering things up. He was like,
Maybe,
"Shit,
aye.
I'll let him score."
I let him score the first goal. Christ, come on.
So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything to that at all. It could have been somebody just. finding something.
Apparently, it's been debugged as fiction.
Right. Okay. Then.
All right,
Apparently, it's already been debugged.
still pretty funny.
It would be
It's
a laugh,
hilarious that it's believable that UEFA could let that happen.
Aye,
But that's the state there.
honestly, man. They're a shambles. I mean, FIFA. Anyway, right. I'll be away, man, if I don't stop. But Kylian Mbappe. So, when questioned about his, questioned if he signed for PSG was purely for the money, Mbappe said, "My money in my account, I look at it a little bit, but I don't care. I'm here to win titles, to show that I'm the best, and to be happy." So, I mean, two things in there is true. Win titles, I mean, PSG is pretty much a guarantee to win the title. And he's happy there. He's a local lad, so right. But to show that you're the best, you ain't doing that in France, my boy.
Aye. Surely you've got to go to
Sorry.
Spain or England.
Yep. So, I mean, he has his reasons.
You
whatever,
can't
right?
hate the man for staying close to home and
no.
making a stupid amount of
No,
money. You know what I mean?
exactly.
He's living his dream.
I mean, you see, at the end of the day, what he's saying there is to be happy as well. See, to be honest, as long as he's happy, then
That's it. Aye.
you know what I mean. If it keeps him happy and in good stead, like
Everybody's just got to chill and remember that he's still young.
he's
He's
so
got
young.
years ahead of him.
There's a lot of Real Madrid fans that say they don't want him to come to the club even in a couple of years. They see it as a betrayal as well. Like, Real Madrid and fans are getting mental, by the way. And Barcelona fans too. fucking pig's head. Remember when Figo?
Oh,
sure.
the big arm, aye.
Pig's head. Crazy.
That was wild, man.
But I mean, you can't really prove that you're the best in France, but as long as the wee man's happy, that's all that matters, isn't it?
That's a Harvey said.
As long as the wee man's happy.
He's got plenty of years to go. I mean, see, to be honest, he's just stuck at the same level now, isn't he? It doesn't really look like he's improving much, but I mean, I guess that's what you get when you play in a league of less quality than other leagues. But anyway, it is what it is. Ralph Ragnick has announced that he will not be staying at Manchester United in the consultancy role that he was supposed to be doing, and has left the club.
What?
Some banter, man.
No shit.
Some banter. He came, he called them shit for 6 months, he's left. Outstanding. That's my hero of the week, and been paid a fortune for, I bet you.
Aye.
Outstanding, Ralph. Well done, mate.
That's mental.
Came and said you're shit for 6 months, and away he goes.
That in a sentence is just the state of Man United in this day and age.
Aye.
Like,
It's crazy, isn't it?
Love it.
wow.
Hero. Absolute hero.
Oh my god. If you're a Man
Absolute
United
hero.
fan, surely you've got to feel dirty. You've got to feel like used and abused.
Oh,
after
aye.
that.
Oh, I think they're just used to it now, Mick. They're used to fucking being laughed at. I know a certain mate of mine from back in the day that is a diehard Man United fan, and his daily post is about fucking Liverpool failing. Like, that's how much fun being a Man United fan is. The only joy they get is when Liverpool slightly fail to not be the absolute best. Like,
Mental.
that's that. It's not really a thing anymore. Them doing well for themselves.
Just before I move on to the F1, because we're getting on a wee bit, Ten Hag, and one of the first quotes that he was saying one of the first quotes to come out of something he said is, he got asked about Man City and Liverpool, the way they play football and stuff like that. His answer was, I admire them both, Man City and Liverpool. They play fantastic football, but eras come to an end. So, fighting talk for old Ten Hag.
Ooh.
Come on, son.
Good yeah. Promo.
So, yeah. On that note, we'll move on to the old F1. So, where'd I even go with this? Without going on a bloody tangent myself. Monaco. Lovely, lovely Monaco. Not going to talk too much about the race because, wasn't really that much going on. Was a few crashes. Perez won.
A convoy running about a B road as fell the
Aye.
Couple of oopsie
Alonso
daisies,
holding up everybody.
dodgy weather, much delays.
Leclerc's team fucked them.
Some bad
with the slow-
decisions with pit stops. Entirely.
Leclerc's pit stop essentially lost them that race.
Pretty much.
Why do they not just call it the Monaco parade? It's a parade.
I mean, it kind of is.
It's a slightly quick parade. It's a convoy. It's just a trail.
A
Now
very,
we've covered the race.
a very sort of slightly competitive parade.
Look at all these lovely cars, just 70 times in the trot.
See, to be honest, right, and I don't know, right, for some reason, I always say, like, I think I was kidding myself. I was like, Monaco's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad.
And then you
And
watch.
then, I don't know if it was because there was the exciting Miami race or whatever it is, but like the fast, like those cars look so goddamn slow today. Like literally, they look so slow on that track. It's
It's
just the way that
because
track
it
is.
was designed at a time when the cars were half of the size that they are now.
Exactly.
It just looks ridiculous.
It's bloody ridiculous, so it is. I mean, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know why I would keep kidding myself and saying, Monaco's all right. It's no.
Monaco highlights the potential problem that street circuits face. Like, there's a reason that any purpose-built racetrack doesn't resemble a street circuit. Like, when you have a street circuit, you're confined to work with what you've got. You can make some decisions about what turns to take and how much this thing to knock down so that you can widen the track very slightly and then have to spend the money to rebuild whatever it was you knocked down. But in general, you're stuck with whatever roads exist, and it just so happens that in Monaco, the roads that are there were made for like 1960s sports cars or whatever. Like, they're no designed for racing at all, and it's just, I mean, tinfoil hat time again, but it's just ridiculous that I'm just realised I'm having a monologue here. It's utterly ridiculous that Formula One still goes there. Like, it's all about handshakes and money. Like, there's no reason for that race to still be on the calendar. None.
Did you know that Monaco is one of the lowest paying races?
Yep.
They only pay like 10 to 12 million. It's absolutely mental.
It's all about the millionaires and the billionaires that sail in their yachts to watch it and mingle. That's all it is.
A lot of the drivers stay there. So the team principals, like Total Wolff, he lives there, obviously tax purposes. Lewis Hamilton. I mean, there's more. There's, I think, about half of the current F1 crop, like the drivers, live in Monaco, reside in Monaco. Sorry, but. And this is something I didn't even really think of. Remember when we were talking and Paul, you asked if they would ever stop racing at Monaco? Me and Michael were like, nah, because it's this and that, you know, it's a symbolic, it's tradition and yada, yada, yada. We completely forgot to take into account that F1 is now owned by a US company, a company from the States.
And it's run by
the
president's own Saudi guy as well.
US, the Liberty Media. That's who. They're actually thinking of taking Monaco off of the.
Oh please!
I think that we'll see Monaco for some time yet. But what could happen and what we should be hoping for, I think, I don't know. It might be a case of like lesser of two evils situation. But if Formula One can really take off in America, then they will absolutely pull it away from Monaco, because American fans are not going to want to tune in and watch the Monaco race.
No, that was awful. That was awful.
They're actually Monaco might not be on the calendar next year.
Oh, really?
They are seriously thinking about pulling it.
Wow.
Several reasons.
Well, I would.
It doesn't work. It's not a spectacle, and the teams can't. The teams don't have space to put their fucking stuff. Like there genuinely isn't any room.
Yeah.
See, all the street circuits, to be honest, fucking throw them in the bin. Throw them on the bin. No, lads, I'm sorry. They're dangerous. They're dangerous as shit. They're fucking tight as hell. Just get them to fuck. Give me racetracks where folk, if they're crashing, they go off and it's safe. And they're not going to fucking fall into a million pieces because they've cracked a street wall. Aye, it is a bit harsh, mate. It is a bit harsh, right? Aye, I'm upset.
So there's a couple of different reasons,
hold on.
right?
Let's see what Las Vegas is like before we ban street circuits, right? Because that has the potential to be massive for Formula One in general.
Aye. So, a couple of reasons here why the F1. So I got this off. This is BBC. They've come out with this report, right? You can actually read it in full if you go into the Formula One section.
Definitely not going to do that. If you let me know about it.
Aye, okay. I thought you might want to read it because you hate bloody Monaco.
Well, I don't know. I will see what you say. I'll change my mind.
So, the number of different areas, the television coverage. So, it's a local TV company that does the pictures and that for Monaco. Everywhere else, it's F1.
Yep.
They have their own people. It's their own station. And they say that the quality is not as good. They miss certain incidents.
Aye, you can tell when you
so
watch
on and so
Monaco,
forth.
you see a lot less of what's happening.
Yep. Then, advertising agreement. Monaco doesn't follow the same. So, they advertise products. So, they've referenced here about a watch company. It's not the F1's official watch.
Yep.
And they advertise with the competitor.
Yep.
So, that's in it as well. Like, the track itself, they're not happy with the track. Obviously, not a lot of people are happy with the track. And the Automobile Club de Monaco, they don't want to change the circuit. The F1 is trying to be saying to them, just make some changes and it'll be better, you know, and we'll keep coming, but they don't want to do that. So, like, it's...
I would be shocked if we don't see them there next year. However, I'm somewhat hopeful that because they're talking about this stuff, it will at the very least force them to make some changes and potentially pull something interesting out of it.
But the thing is, there's no need for Monaco.
No,
like,
not in the slightest.
There's no... I mean, like, Monaco, what? It's just for the millionaires to sit and watch. There's nothing more there. It doesn't... They don't bring in record crowds at Monaco. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. You can't do the sort of fan experience there. They can't put big grandstands in and stuff. It's no conducive to the modern sport. It just isn't.
Then you get folk like Total Wolf. He wants to stay there because he lives in Monaco, doesn't he? And he's like, oh, it's something special in F1 Monaco. Is it really though? Is it really that special? Like,
no,
it's not a track where you go and say, yes, we're going to have loads of overtaking, we're going to have this and that. No, it's not.
They're all the folk that argue for it. They're full of money. You know what I mean? There's no poor person on this planet is arguing for them to stay at Monaco. That's the first thing. But more so, it's people that are trying to hold on to memories and ideals.
Some nostalgia.
It's the nostalgia aspect. The tradition and the nostalgia. It's like, it's kind of like Le Mans, right? You've got the Le Mans 24-hour race. If something happened somewhere that meant that they couldn't race the same route anymore, and they had to change it, people would be in uproar. Even if the change was for the better, if it made the race better in some way, because of the tradition, people would just be so against it.
Sometimes you just have to change, man. Like, I get back in the day at Monaco, it had some good races, some great races, but now we're not seeing great races because the way that F1 has evolved, the tracks need to evolve as well.
And
Monaco,
see, to echo something that Paul mentioned in his wee rant there, the Formula One safety standards where they're at now, to get a racetrack up to Formula One standards is ridiculous. The amount of money that needs to be spent, the amount of time that needs to be taken to get the track up to standard. They have a slightly different rule set for street circuits because street circuits. You know what I mean? It's obvious. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do with a street.
Aye.
But even saying that, Monaco, like, just they're probably bending rules to keep Monaco in as it is. There's no way it's anywhere close to their sort of standard rule set that they have for racetracks.
Ah,
You know what I mean?
definitely not. Yeah.
Aye. Well, I mean, look, if you just look at the crash with Mick Schumacher. No so much the crash, right? But the fact that they had to red flag it and the amount of time it took them to get that barrier repaired to where they could get back out shows where it's at. Like, you know what I mean? The fact that section is there for somebody to run into and split their car into is bad enough. But then the fact that it's made in such a way that they have to halt the race to then try and make a sort of makeshift repair. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's high time that they gave it a miss and they focused on, like, I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to monologue again. To be fair, they don't.
Music back on.
I don't like the system in terms of the way governments and sort of local councils or whatever it is, depending on where you are in the world, they have to raise a stupid amount of money to get their tracks certified for Formula One. Then once they're certified, they have to apply to become part of the calendar. Once they're included, they then have more money to pay to actually host the race or the event.
The event, they call it.
So I don't like that. Like, I mean, fair enough, the hosts, right, maybe they need to cover certain aspects, like they need to pay for their own sort of, you know, like the energy bills and the this, that and the next thing to provide whatever they need to provide for the event to take place. Maybe they need to pay for entertainment for fans to create the big experience that they're pushing now. Right, fair enough, but they shouldn't need to pay millions directly to Formula One for the privilege of doing all this. Formula One should be making their money off advertising. They shouldn't be bleeding the organisers of the races dry. And then the fact that they've got these like different tiers and they're charging different places different money is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous as well.
And I think that a portion of and it might already be, but if it is a thing, then it's not enough money. But a portion of whatever Formula One's making should be reinvested into racetracks sort of around the world, so that there's potential to have a cycle where every season there's at least one new track, or you know, every couple of seasons, however they're going to work it, so that it's not the same tracks every year, like year and year. And the only way you get new tracks is when they decide to expand the calendar. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep things fresh. Like something like the Nürburgring, for example. There's so much history at that track, but it doesn't meet the current safety standards that are set by Formula One. It needs upgrades. The Nürburgring still hosts like tons of events. They still have public track days and all the rest of it. So it's still a thing, and they'll keep doing their thing. But you can absolutely have the Formula One go back there if Formula One took the step to invest a bit of cash there and encourage the owners, whoever it is that runs that track, to put some cash in as well and bring it up to standard. You know what I mean? And then fire it in the cycle and go there twice out every 5 years or 10 years.
Aye. I mean, that's a good idea. Like, have tracks around the world that, you know, every year you could literally do it every year. It's a different set. So like maybe every couple of years you go back to like a track. You know what I mean?
Have a quarter, like 10 races. You go every year, and then have the rest of the calendar rotate in like a bi-yearly thing or whatever it's going to be. Anyway, I'm done.
I mean, that's it's honestly, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? Like, but they'll never do it because they just get too much money. So I actually wanted to show you this before the F1, but completely forgot. On YouTube. So it's, you ready to type?
No.
YouTube.
Navigating.
So YouTube. Best best of the action from the e-scooter. Scooter spelled
my God, I can't wait.
SKOOTR Championship in London. Races, overtakes and more. It's a 5-minute, 30-second video. This one's special for you, Michael.
Best of the action from the e-scooter championship in London. Aye.
Yeah.
Video's 2
Races.
weeks old, 5 minutes 31 seconds.
From the 15th of May. Aye.
Okay.
The channel it's on is the e-scooter championship. So it's E, no space in it. So lowercase e, capital S, KOOTR championship. That's the channel. He's on it, boys.
I am
Aye, I'm on it. Aye.
ready to go.
So you got to play some sound. You on the
If you want.
iPadage? All right, ready to press play? And 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it's this.
This looks hilarious.
Love it. Give me a shot, one of them.
By the way, Hulkenberg has a team.
Really?
I saw that Anthony Joshua also has a team.
I love the commentators.
I'm sure that the speed skater Elise Christie does this. Like, this is what she's doing now, scooting,
Right.
scooting about.
There's some folk that are like motocross and stuff like that.
Aye, they've come into it.
Interesting.
Random as fuck, isn't it?
I should tell you, commentators, man, so passionate.
Hey, yes. Somebody's doing. Oops, kidding.
Fuck aye,
Yes,
give
what
me
are we
a shot.
doing?
of this. A wee sweet jump.
We'll get some breakdancing happening. Are we watching this full thing?
Good. So there's actually a lot. We don't have to.
Oh, right, hold on, we'll get another race going.
I just wanted to show you the heats.
Just what it looks like, yeah. Looks
So,
awesome.
how do they work this? Because it's looking like it looks to me like the Moto X thing. I think that's what it's called. The X Games used to do, where it's like part
right,
dirt track and part concrete.
I know what you mean, like, aye.
So like they're going from
That's
inside to outside and different track types and stuff.
The outfits, the scooters, everything
Well,
about it is.
somebody just ran off the track. I don't know where they went. I think they took a shortcut.
Straight up fucking Tron shit, man. I'm loving it.
Oi!
So something out of Tron.
Oh yes, kick him off.
Games. Kick him off. Right, I've got to say, that's pretty cool. That's much cooler than I expected it to be.
I feel like I need more drama, but I'm very intrigued by it.
I bet you it's fucking great fun to do.
But I probably.
But you'd be safe for a week
It
after
is
it.
so much fun. I crouching in that half squat all the time.
The amount of times
damn.
like, if we were doing it, like the amount of times we'd fall off, we'd try to take each other out.
Aye, deck it, man. Aye, you would literally need that fucking RoboCop suit on, wouldn't you, man? I would be requesting arse
I mean,
pads.
Paul,
So-
you've seen how Harvey plays sports. Imagine him doing that. It would be 10-pin bowling.
It would be amazing. Barrel rolling through corners and then get back up and jump onto it.
So do you know the
It would
max
be
speed
amazing.
of those?
Right.
20 miles per hour.
100 kilometers an hour.
60 mile an
Sweet
hour.
Jesus. Oh, shit. Go 60. That is going to feel like about 500 miles an hour when you're balancing on it in your
Right,
feet.
quickly load the
So-
near straights because they weren't doing 60 in any of them that I just saw.
I know.
I'm wanting more straights, man. Give me
I want to see the
straights.
speed
It's,
wobbles as they hit
two-
60.
2-wheel drives. There is a video where somebody speed wobbles. It's funny.
Fucking hell. Wow.
You ever see what's shown Michael McIntyre, the kind of posh comedian guy?
Aye,
he,
Michael
he-
McIntyre,
he does
right.
he does a bit. Well, it's something to do with hair or so. I can't remember what his bit is, but he does this bit where he shakes his head side to side to make his tail jiggle. Like
Aye,
that.
aye,
like,
aye.
Just,
Oh,
that's what I
that
thought
jiggly
when
he
Paul was
thing
doing
he
his thing.
does.
Aye, that would be the speed wobble.
Aye, it's because my hair went there, so wasn't it, man? I mean, great. This is great content for listeners. Talking about my hair going.
Oh Christ!
So the format is kind of works like F1. You have your teams, and then so you're competing for an individual championship and a team championship. I don't know what the points are though. That's the only thing.
Do they have pit stops?
So you do like there's 30 riders. Each team has 3 riders, so 10 teams, male and females. So they do the heats. The top 4 from each heat progress to the quarterfinals. Top 3 go to the semis, and then top 3 from the semis go into the final, and they get the points at each place of the race. They have a lean angle of 55 degrees, by the way.
And if you go beyond that, you just fall.
Aye.
You're dead. You're gone, man.
You're beyond that, you're done.
It's not quite a superbike, is it?
No. Aye. There you go.
Class.
That would interest you there, Michael. The e-scooter.
I mean,
I would definitely watch
I want to try it.
Absolutely.
Honestly, it's one of them where, to me, it looks fun to compete in, but watching it doesn't really appeal to me that much.
Totally.
If you know what I mean. I just thought it was quite funny when I seen it. I was like, oh god, and they take it serious too. Like the athletes, if you want to call them, they keep themselves at an optimal weight, just like the F1 drivers, you know.
Oh,
to give them that optimal speed. Aye. So each team has males and females in it. I think they have to have at least one female in their team as well. So inclusive sport.
Mm-hmm.
If you go onto their website, actually, hold on, what's their website again? Official.esc.live.
Very catchy.
There's actually a wee bit on there where you can click and you can become a rider. They're kicking off a grassroots program soon, so
There will be an application from William Guth going in post haste.
Oh man. Michael, do you have a joke to tell us at the end here? Does anybody have a joke?
What do you call a sweaty pair of breasts?
I don't know.
Humidity.
Oh god.
Yes.
Oh Christ! I had one earlier. I don't know if I can remember it. I don't think it's going to beat that. Certainly no. It was. Oh, what was it now? It was a racist, a Klansman, and a murderer walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Evening, officer."
Yay, current affairs.
Oh god.
Very real. Hells yeah.
What have I got? Have I got one? What's the Han Solo? Oh, Han Solo. Why didn't Han Solo enjoy his steak dinner?
I don't know.
Don't know.
It was chewy.
That's the noise he made while he was chewing it.
Oh god. On that note there, we'll love yous and leave yous.
It was a serious episode.
Just like to
What is this?
aye, off a serious. Just like to thank you all for listening. Please visit our website, share us with your friends and family. Keep listening to us. Hope you all enjoyed it. We love feedback as well, so hit us up on any one of the social medias. We'll gladly interact with you. Thank you very much. Bye bye, driver.
Bye now.
Shahiri bye.
Chahiri, bye. That tickled me much more than it should have.